Let me tell you something. There comes a point in every life when playing it safe is no longer safe, when staying comfortable is the most dangerous decision you can make. You've been sitting in that same place, thinking, planning, waiting, hoping for the perfect moment. But let me break it to you. There will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when all the lights turn green, all the people cheer for you, and all the fear disappears. At some point, you've got to take a chance. Because faith is not about knowing how it will work out. Faith is about believing even when you don't know. You can't walk on water until you step out of the boat. You can't discover what's inside you until you're willing to risk the comfort of what's around you. Some of you have dreams that have been locked away for years, buried under fear, buried under doubt, buried under other people's opinions. But deep down inside, you know you're meant for more. You can feel it. You can sense it. That's not arrogance. That's destiny calling your name. You see, God never designed you to live a life of almost successful, almost happy, almost free. No, He created you for abundance, for impact, for purpose. But purpose always requires risk. You can't build something great if you're afraid of falling. You can't start something new if you're holding on to what's old. Every great story begins with someone who dared to step out, who said, "I don't have all the answers, but I'm going anyway." You might fail, you might get it wrong, you might lose some friends, but if you never take a chance, you'll never know how far you could have gone, how strong you could have been, how much you could have grown. Don't let fear become your ceiling. Don't let comfort become your cage, because comfort will keep you average, but risk will make you grow. You say, "What if I fall?" I say, "What if you fly?" You were not created to sit still. You were born to move, to build, to rise, to overcome. And the only way you'll ever see what's possible is if you take that first step. So today, make a decision to take a chance on your dream, to take a chance on your gift, to take a chance on yourself. You might not know how it ends, but I promise you this. When you take a chance with faith, something shifts, doors open, people appear, strength you didn't know you had come alive, because the moment you take a chance is the moment life starts moving again. So stop waiting, stop doubting, stop asking for permission. Take the chance, because your future is waiting on the other side of your fear. There comes a moment in every person's life when the safe path becomes the most dangerous one to stay on. You think safety will protect you, but in reality, safety can suffocate your potential. Some of us have been sitting in the same place for too long, planning, waiting, and overthinking, believing that one day everything will line up perfectly, and that will be the time to move, but perfection is a mirage. You will never have every detail figured out, every fear silenced, every doubt erased. Life doesn't wait for certainty. Life rewards the one who dares to move while still uncertain. You have to take a chance, even when it feels like you're stepping into the unknown. Taking a chance doesn't mean you won't be afraid. It means you refuse to let fear make your decisions for you. Too many people die with dreams still buried in their hearts, not because they didn't have the talent, but because they never took the risk. They waited for applause before they performed, for validation before they acted, for clarity before they stepped. But purpose doesn't show up in comfort zones. Growth doesn't happen where you feel safe. You can't become who you were meant to be if you're always holding on to who you used to be. Every transformation begins with risk, and every breakthrough begins with movement. Sometimes the very thing you are afraid to lose is the thing that is keeping you from gaining what's truly meant for you. You may lose people when you take a chance. You may lose approval. You may even lose the sense of control you thought you had. But you will gain something far greater: vision, strength, wisdom, and the revelation of who you really are. You'll never know how strong your faith is until you're standing in a place where it's all you have left. You'll never know what you can build until you take your hands off what's familiar and reach for what's possible. You see, opportunity doesn't knock on doors that are closed in fear. It passes by those who hesitate and lands in the hands of those who are willing to act. Life has a way of favoring the bold, not because they have all the answers, but because they are willing to try. The person who takes a chance may stumble, may fall, may even fail, but they will learn, they will grow, and they will rise again. Meanwhile, the one who never risks anything never gains anything. The soil of success is watered by the sweat of those who dared to move. Taking a chance is not about recklessness. It's about faith. Faith that what's inside you is greater than what's in front of you. Faith that even if you don't know the way, there is a way. Faith that what you carry within you is worth the risk. Some of you have been praying for change, but you're still standing in the same spot. You want new results, but you refuse to take new steps. You want doors to open, but you won't walk down the hallway. Sometimes God won't move until you do. Sometimes the miracle isn't in what you see. It's in your decision to take a chance even when you can't see. When you finally decide to take that chance, the world around you begins to shift. Opportunities start to align. People show up. Strength rises. The atmosphere responds to your courage. Life bends toward movement, not hesitation. The universe has a way of honoring those who act on conviction. You may not feel ready, but readiness is often found in motion. The act of trying creates the energy that propels you forward. And once you step out, you'll realize the thing you feared wasn't as powerful as you thought. It was your hesitation that gave it strength. Faith is not about knowing how everything will unfold. Faith is about stepping forward when you have no guarantees, no clarity, and no map to follow. It is trusting that something greater is at work even when your eyes cannot see it. Most people want certainty before they move, but certainty is the enemy of faith. If you could see every detail, calculate every outcome, and predict every turn, there would be no need for faith at all. Faith begins where logic ends, where the ground beneath your feet gives way, and all you have left is belief. To take a chance in life is to say, I don't know how this will turn out, but I believe there's purpose in this step. You can't walk on water if you never step out of the boat. You can't experience impossible if you always stay in the realm of what feels safe and explainable. The moment you step out, everything in you will want to run back to what's familiar. Fear will whisper every reason why you should stay put. It will remind you of your past failures, your insecurities, your lack of resources. It will magnify the waves and minimize your faith. But real growth begins when you move despite the fear. Faith doesn't silence fear. It just refuses to let fear sit in the driver's seat. Many people pray for miracles, but are unwilling to move in the direction of those miracles. They want divine intervention without human participation. But faith is not passive. Faith requires movement. You can't ask for doors to open if you're unwilling to knock. You can't pray for opportunity while clinging to comfort. Faith is not about waiting for perfect conditions. It's about walking forward even when the storm is raging. It's about trusting that every step you take, no matter how shaky, brings you closer to your destiny. Sometimes when you take that first step, nothing looks different. The wind doesn't stop, the sky doesn't clear, and the path doesn't suddenly glow with light. But something changes inside you. The moment you act in faith, a shift begins. You awaken the power that was lying dormant inside you. You activate potential that fear had paralyzed. You stir up strength you didn't even know you had. Faith is the key that unlocks hidden power. You'll never discover that power sitting still. You discover it when you step forward into uncertainty. Taking a chance means believing that what's ahead is worth the risk of leaving what's behind. It's understanding that you can't live your whole life standing at the edge of possibility, wondering what might have been. Some people spend years staring at the water, analyzing the waves, calculating the risk, but never actually stepping out. And then they wonder why nothing changes. The truth is, your breakthrough is waiting on your movement. Your next level is waiting on your courage. You don't have to know how it will all work out. You just have to trust that it will. Faith will often lead you into unfamiliar places where you feel unqualified and unprepared. That's where transformation happens. That's where the strongest version of you is born. Because when you step into a space where your skills aren't enough, your faith grows legs. You stop depending on your own strength and start drawing from a deeper source. You begin to see that success is not about control, it's about surrender. It's not about having all the answers, it's about trusting the one who does. When you dare to take a chance, you open the door to possibilities that logic can't explain. Things start aligning in ways you could never have planned. People come into your life at just the right time. Opportunities appear that you didn't even know existed. That's not coincidence. That's the power of faith in motion. The moment you move, the universe responds. The moment you believe, heaven takes notice. The moment you step out of the boat, you realize the water was never the enemy. It was the pathway to your miracle. Some of you have dreams that have been buried for years, locked deep inside your heart under layers of fear, doubt, and disappointment. You can feel them still breathing under the surface, whispering to you in quiet moments, reminding you that you were made for more. But every time that whisper grows louder, fear rises to meet it. Fear tells you that you're too old, too young, too late, too different, too unqualified. Fear tells you to play it safe, to settle for what you can manage instead of reaching for what you're meant to become. Yet, no matter how many excuses fear gives, that dream refuses to die. It keeps calling because destiny has a sound that your soul recognizes. You can't outrun what you were created to do. You can distract yourself, you can ignore it, you can drown it out with busyness and logic, but eventually it will find its way back to you. It will remind you that you were designed with purpose, not just to survive, but to build, to create, to lead, to impact. And that purpose cannot fully unfold while you remain buried under fear. You may think fear keeps you safe, but what it really does is keep you small. It shrinks your vision, silences your passion, and blinds you to the opportunities standing right in front of you. The truth is, you can't discover what's inside of you until you're willing to risk the comfort of what's around you. Every gift you have, every ounce of potential, every idea, every talent remains locked away until you step out of what's familiar. Growth never happens in the places where you feel comfortable. Growth happens when you stretch, when you step beyond what you know, when you walk into something that scares you. Comfort feels good, but it never changes you. Discomfort, on the other hand, molds you, sharpens you, and reveals you. It's the fire that refines your purpose. The world is full of people who had the ability, but not the courage. They had the dream, but not the daring. They talked about what they could do, what they might do, what they would do someday, but someday never came because fear stole today. You can't let that be your story. You can't let fear rob you of what you were born to release into the world. The gifts you've been given aren't just for you, they're for everyone who will be blessed by your obedience, everyone who will be inspired by your courage, everyone who will be changed because you took a chance on your calling. Don't wait for other people to understand your vision before you start moving toward it. Some will doubt you, some will misunderstand you, and some will even criticize you. But they weren't given your dream, you were. They don't hear what you hear or feel what you feel. That vision was placed inside you for a reason, and if you keep waiting for the approval of others, you'll die waiting. Greatness is rarely recognized at the beginning. People don't applaud seeds, they only notice the tree after it's grown. You have to be willing to grow in silence, to build in obscurity, to believe even when no one else believes with you. Deep down, you already know that you're meant for more. You can feel that pull in your spirit, that divine discontent that refuses to let you settle. That's your purpose reminding you who you are. And no matter how long you've ignored it, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's still waiting for you to rise up and claim it. You may not have everything figured out. You may not feel ready. But readiness is not the requirement, willingness is. The moment you decide to confront your fear instead of feeding it, the moment you start believing in the strength that's been in you all along, the moment you give yourself permission to act, something powerful begins to shift. You were never meant to live an almost a life, almost fulfilled, almost successful, almost free. That's not why you're here. You were created to live in purpose, to stretch beyond mediocrity, to wake up every day knowing that you are walking toward the life that was designed specifically for you. You don't need to have all the answers to begin. You just need the courage to begin where you are, with what you have, trusting that as you move forward, everything you need will begin to unfold.